another day of being stressed. Pressure to win or be your best. Feeling unheard or at home and sad. It's time to take a break from feeling bad. At least you got us. Nothing is our duty. At least you got us. Life is hard, but it's full of beauty. You're not isolated. You're not alone. As long as you've got us in your home. At least you got us.
Hello, South African! Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of At Least You've Got Us. Yes, we are here for our final episode for the week. That's right, we're only going from Mondays to Thursdays now, because you know what? We want a weekend too. But anyway, before we get stuck into it, let me get my co-hosts into the studio, and that is Matt and Dunk. Good welcome to all of you. I don't know what good welcome is, but I think it's like good day and welcome. Who knows?
The lighting in my room makes me have a red face, and it looks like I've been drinking gin the entire day.
Don't lie to us. That's exactly what you've been doing.
You've only been drinking gin for the last half hour.
No,
cheers, everybody.
This is actually the first time I've been on the show with all the new stuff. It looks pretty cool, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
As a person in the show, I think I'm allowed to crit the show.
I mean, let's keep it light.
You have to do that on air,
but also want to say it's the first time I've watched the show the whole week because now I'm on it. So I'm busy. My apologies, but it looks really cool, guys. How exciting! You guys are so good.
Yeah,
you guys are so good at what you do. Like, you make me proud to be a part of this team of such enthusiastic. What else did you guys write here? These are big words to describe people.
You forgot talented. You forgot talented.
Third word. This one here
amazingly
is
handsome.
Infectiously good looking. That's a goodie.
That's a big one.
You guys are all of the above.
Well done. Well done. Thank you, Dunk. Thank you for that sparkling endorsement.
Listen, I'm also that guy that, like, I'm in the show and I also never tell all my friends. So if you don't mind, I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to share this on my Facebook page to tell the people that we're live, because I don't do this before because I'm stupid. So give me a second.
And while he does that,
this is a good segue. This is a very good segue. Use this one.
Well, Doug invites his friends to come watch our show so we can have 10 viewers. Let's go over to Doug for the news.
And now, the news with Doug.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's At Least You Got Us news at 7:03. I am your host for the news, Douglas, as always, and we will continue, as always, with the statistics from around the world concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. Yesterday saw an increase of just under 272,000 cases globally, bringing us up to over 19 million cases worldwide, with 6.1 million of them being active cases. 12.2 million people have recovered from the virus. However, 712,845 people have officially died as a result of the Corona-19 virus. The current mortality rate for the globe remains at 6%. South Africa, on the other hand, saw, unfortunately, an increase of 8,559 new cases confirmed yesterday, bringing us up to just under 530,000 cases nationally. Of that, just over 143,000 cases are active, with just over 377,000 people having recovered from the virus. Unfortunately, yesterday took a heavy toll on the sufferers of the COVID-19 virus, with 414 deaths recorded yesterday, bringing our total to 9,298 deaths nationally. That increases our mortality rate to 2.41%. President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed a 6-member cabinet committee to deal with all the allegations of corruption related to COVID-19 procurement. In a leaked letter to ministers, Ramaphosa said following Wednesday's cabinet meeting, he had appointed the committee, which would be chaired by Justice Minister Ronald Lamola. Other members include Minister in the Presidency Jackson Tembu, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni, Police Minister Becky Cele, Public Service Administration Minister Senzo Mkhunu, and Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. in a statement released on Thursday, Ramaphosa's acting spokesperson, Tyrone Seal, said the committee will look into corruption with regard to the procurement of goods and services sourced for the purpose of containing and responding to COVID-19 pandemic, and it includes the procurement of personal protective equipment. For those of you who don't understand what's going on, this basically means that a bunch of foxes are standing over the corpse of a chicken they have just finished eating and promising the other chickens that they will find out who was responsible for eating the chicken. In the meantime, us being the chickens, we all know who's responsible for eating the chickens, right? We watch the foxes eat the damn chicken, yet we're sitting there and we're agreeing, because what else can we do? We can become wolves, or we can sit back and roll our eyes. In other news, government is well aware of the economic harm caused by the ban on the sale of tobacco products, as well as potential job losses. It is monitoring the situation closely and will lift the ban as soon as it is safe to do so, and would not impact the healthcare system. At least this is what the government's legal arguments in response to BATS's court challenge against the tobacco ban have been. They say, however, that it is not yet safe to lift the ban. Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, has indicated that the aim of the ban is to stop people smoking so that they do not get COVID-19 in a more severe form, leading to more ICU beds being needed and potentially overburdening the health system during the pandemic. Breitenbach SC said the minister is clear that the temporary ban on the sale of tobacco products will not lead to the complete stopping of smoking, but she merely wants to reduce the strain on the public health system with this temporary COVID-19 related measure. Breitbach argued that a range of expert evidence considered indicates that with an estimated 8 million smokers in South Africa, one can further estimate that the ban has potentially led to between 1.28 million and just under 4 million people having quit smoking due to the ban, even if it is just temporarily. This, however, contradicts the University of Cape Town's report, whereby they say 90% of smokers continue to get their cigarettes, albeit through illegal channels. Furthermore, it is essential, they say, that there will be enough ICU beds and ventilators available during the pandemic, which they say smoking could inhibit. This also goes against studies that have been put forward by international experts in documents submitted to the World Health Organization. It seems to me that the government is continuing to rely on false and outdated information to string along their lies over this ban. The government has allocated an extra 6 billion rand to fund the 350 rand special COVID-19 grant for those without an income, as well as asylum seekers and special permit holders. Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu revealed in response to a written parliamentary question from the Freedom Front Plus MP Tamarin Briot that the initial allocation of the 350 rand from grant from May to October was amounted at 3,457,696,700 rand. Listen properly. She said the additional amount of 6 billion rand was made available in the special adjustment budget from this grant and was intended to cater for all who qualified, not only asylum seekers and special permit holders. Here's me hoping that at least a little bit of the money gets to the people that government says it is intended for and does not go straight into the new ministerial Mercedes fund. And finally, the Film and Publications Amendment Bill in its current form is an attempt by government to censor the internet. This according to the DA. The bill, also known as the Internet Censorship Bill, is an attempt to force all social media users to register with the Film and Publications Board, the FPB, before uploading videos to social media sites. If the bill is passed, it will be an unjustifiable infringement on the constitutional right to privacy. It will also place all viewers of X18 rated content on a list, which the government will have unrestricted access to. And it will give government the power to precast classify online content before you share it with your friends and family. This attempt to censor South Africa's use of the internet threatens our democracy by limiting free speech, said the DA. What basically this means is that if you, say, take a video of your brother falling down the stairs, you think it's funny, and you put it up on Facebook for a laugh, you're breaking the law. It also means that if you decide that you're feeling a little bit lonely and you want to go onto a certain fourletter.hub.com website and have a little personal time, you will be put onto a list that the government will have access to. Anyway, that's what they want, I guess. Anyway, that's all the time we have for the news. But before we do go, I would like to encourage South Africans to go to this website, https://dearsouthafrica.co.za, FPB 2020, where Dear South Africa is asking for South Africans put in their comments relating to the internet censorship bill and hopefully encouraging the government to stop it. Anyway, as I said, that's all the time we have for the news. Back to the studio.
That was the news with Doug.
Hello, everybody.
So, according to this bill, that means like our show will also get censored because we have a lot to say about the government on this show.
Well, no, what it means is that our show, what we will be required to do is we will have to register as a broadcaster with the Film and Publications Board. We will then have to provide all of our content to the Film Publications Board for approval. We will also have to follow live broadcasting laws that are in place. You know, basically like any television live broadcast that's using government facilities.
So look out for our pre-show announcement where we go, we at Duncan Covered support the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me just say
your
something.
complaints to Auckland Park. Yeah.
Let me put this into a quick little nutshell here. First of all, the government can register this and this one. This is without a doubt, like, have we now gone full authoritarian? Full, like,
But this will be like e-tolls. It's like they're gonna try and bring it in. They'll do something, and no, everybody will just exactly go. Like, how will they enforce this?
What we have to take into account that this is not unprecedented. Malawi has similar laws. There are several African countries that do have similar laws about monitoring broadcasting and monitoring content on the internet. The problem is that they're impossible to enforce. Absolutely impossible. All you've got to do is download yourself a VPN so that the broadcast officially comes out of Sweden, and you're good to go.
That's the biggest thing at the moment. We should honestly just punt right now NordVPN, like every other YouTuber. NordVPN, get it now. Nord, if you're watching us, sponsor us.
Sorry. I mean,
that will also protect you from ending up on that list of R-rated viewers.
But I mean, we're talking about a government who can't even get their coronavirus reporting correct. I mean, like, you know, Twitter and Facebook can't employ enough people to moderate their sites. And you're telling me that the Film and Publications Board of South Africa is going to be able to moderate all of the social media content and catch everyone who's posting videos of their cat.
Here's the thing. You're dealing with a government that can't even fix a pit toilet in the middle of a thing where they paid millions. They're given millions upon millions, and they go, please, just set up a couple, maybe some running water. They can't even get water to run.
Yeah.
Waterfalls have been doing it for millions of years naturally. People are being paid money. The government can't even... are you telling me right now, I'm going to sit here and make a little video and go, hi guys, my name's Duncan. Welcome to my channel. And some guy's going to bash down the door like you haven't registered with us, you little fuck boy. Get back and turn that webcam off. Fucking turn it off now. Get out of here. Was my webcam dirty? Hang on. I think I just cleaned my webcam. No wonder I haven't ever done this. Hang on. This is a bloody miracle. Hang on.
Oh my God.
That's what I actually look. Yeah, look. That's what I actually look like. It's been many shows. Is this?
Anyway, what we must take into account is that it won't be about just tracking down everybody, you know, who's sitting in their little house, you know, doing their video. No, if you're putting it up on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter or on TikTok, what it effectively will require is that those organizations that are based overseas comply with South African law. That's what this is saying, basically. So, I mean, basically, Mark Zuckerberg can turn around and go, no. Yeah.
Like again, like in the words of, I believe it is very noted character of South Park Cartman, they can suck my balls. That's how I feel about this whole thing.
And also,
Mr. Garrison.
out of all of the ways to exercise your penchant for authoritarianism, finding out who's fapping in bed alone at night is a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wanting to know who is visiting X18 sites that's a weird list to keep.
And on that topic that you are talking about, it is Conspiracy Theory Thursday. That's why all these people they put their tape over their webcams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not trying to sound like a weirdo here. I would hate to be the FBI agent that has to sit and watch me fap in my webcam. Because I mean, imagine that. That must just be awful.
Yeah.
I mean, there is not enough money. There is not enough money to get anybody to sit there and you go, listen, by the way, you're on Duncan duty tonight, and it's a Thursday. And you know what he gets up to on a Thursday? Guys sitting there going, oh Jesus, Thursday night at Duncan's webcam. Can't bear with this again. Oh bloody hell. It's like overtime.
Exactly. Like everyone's always like, oh, the government's watching you through your computer. It's like you're gonna be watching people walking in their room.
Look, the government doesn't need to watch you through your computer. They really don't. You know why?
You have a cell phone.
Because people put up what the hell they're doing on the internet anyway.
Exactly.
The government won't know what you're doing. They're just going, just check his Facebook profile. Oh, he was at Milky Lane earlier, and now he's going to the dog park. All right, cool. We're good.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't also, like, you know what the problem is? People are looking at this the wrong way. Because everyone's like, oh my God, they're tracking me, they're following me. I think this is awesome. Like, at least I feel like I've got someone watching out for me. People are always like, oh, you have a guardian angel. No, I got Google Maps, motherfucker. He's watching me all the time. Google Maps is like, he knows. Like, Google Maps knows. Google Maps
does know. Have you ever been at like the shops and you get back into the car and Google Maps goes, oh, it's 4 minutes to get back home, and you're like, thanks,
dude. Have you not ever been onto like your Google Maps like history? Have you ever done this thing on Google Maps?
I get this email, your location history for the month, which I have never signed up for. Right?
Yeah, you can put that off.
I've been to 3 cities and 22 new locations. All right,
okay, I'll show you mine. I'm not too scared to show you mine because I haven't been anywhere. I've been in lockdown. But okay, so I'm going to do the year 2019, which was a good year, and I was obviously living in Bloem in 2019. So I'm going to share the screen here. This is legitimate. I saw this
even able
day.
to track you in Bloem? I mean, do they have satellite coverage there?
Hey, they found Osama bin Laden in a cave in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they can find Duncan Bain in Bloemfontein.
But it goes like Osama bin Laden in a cave and then Bloem, doesn't it? It's like
no, look, it's much of a muchness. But yeah, I'm sharing the screen now. So this is the year 2019, right? So if you check the thing there, like that's all the places that I was, and I was in Cape Town, and I did all this stuff. You know, like it tells me, oh, I went over here. I was in Welkom. Don't ask why. I was in Kroonstad, Bothaville. I did a little bit of that. But what really skeeved me out was like it tracks you down to like, so in 2015, if you click on that, so it's going to load here. In 2015, it even knows that I did a trip to Hong Kong. And like it tracks me and stuff like so like, but I mean it's ridiculous. So you can go click today. This is what I did today. I drove around. So this shows you exactly. I was in Benoni today, so I did some clear driving.
That is,
I know that is. I shouldn't be showing that because that is my address.
Say,
but
those look like drug dealers. Like it's just this random circling around.
Can you please, by any chance, just like scrap that part out where I just showed everyone where I live?
They don't have your house
Look
number.
At that.
You're
He's
right.
just been cut off. Do you see that? That's what happens. Right? Okay.
Google's got him.
He's just shown the world how dangerous Google is, where they can track you down to your minute detail. Right? Okay. And he got cut off. Like
I just love how he freezes.
Yeah, exactly. They chose to do it in like the most perfect little.
They've chosen to cut it there because he's just heard his front door get kicked in, and he's about to, and he started screaming. Right? That's what happened there. All right. Okay, the Google police have shown up, but personally, I'm actually rather concerned myself about that sort of tracking technology because I never agreed to turn mine on. And it was on anyway.
Yeah, it is a problem. I don't
particularly want everybody knowing that I went to the doctor, on Wednesday, right? I mean, I'm just waiting for it to become a time where you get this in your work contract, your contract of employment, right, where it says you must hand over your location information to your employer, so that on that day where you're not feeling 100%, or heaven forbid you want to go to a concert and you call in sick, the employer can Google you up and say, right, where is he? Is he at home or at the doctor? No, look at that. He's gone to Opicopy, right? Fired.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I am in any way suggesting that people should do that. I think that if you're going to go to a concert, it's like take a day's leave. But
yeah, but I think people do that anyway. I mean, the majority of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, like at the, I do know that certain companies already do like social media vetting with people when they are prospectively employing you. But yeah, I mean, it is one of those things. We've had the conversation with each other previously about why have you not learned before posting stupid shit on social media yet? It's like you've got to understand that this is like there and out there now, and is really a public thing. It is not your own personal private life.
You see, the problem,
but I do take your point, Doug, about like I never agreed for Google to track me all around the world. That's a little bit creepy.
You see, but the problem is that you also actually need to be able to give context to certain searches. For example, I do not trust the media like at all. Right? Okay, they're all in it. They're all owned by some multi-millionaire somewhere. Right? Okay, you have an agenda. That is my view. As a result, I believe that if you want the truth, you have to read across the board. That means you've got to read from BuzzFeed, right, where they're talking about lesbian llamas, right? Okay. Okay. To Breitbart, where they're talking about God Emperor Trump's great new idea, okay, and everything in between. So all of those news sites, I mean, I'm talking all of them. We go CNN, BBC, Sky News, BuzzFeed, Daily Wire, all of them, right, are connected to my Facebook profile because I read all of the articles just to see what the different perspectives are. And if somebody then chooses to come and do a social media scope on me, and the first article that they see is something out of Breitbart that they disagree with, they automatically get into their head, he's a right winger, right? Okay, which is not fair or representative of my actual position. And I think that in order to I think that it is important that you are allowed to hire who you want, but I think that the people doing those sorts of searches need to take into account that they need to look deeper than telling Oompy across the road to F off because the dog's on your lawn.
Yeah.
So
Welcome,
are you
Dunk.
back? Did you manage to make?
I just spoke about the fact that I doxed myself, and then all of a sudden my internet goes off. If you're watching this, wherever you are in the chat, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm busy streaming off my phone now because I can't get the internet back up. So like,
really,
I can't. It's done. It's Operation Dunzo, as they said. It's buggered. Toast.
Let me tell you this, right? What that means is, right, that somebody is watching you. And I think that we better just get into the meat of it as quickly as possible, don't you think? Right?
Just one quick thing, Carry on your chat. I'm going to try and reconnect one last time.
Okay.
This is so unprofessional, but I love it. But I'll do a scene. There are we. What the hell is going on?
Right. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful.
Stick around, guys. We do actually have a Conspiracy Theory Thursday for you planned. But
we do. The problem is that Duncan was presenting it, and now he's been docked.
I think that this has happened to us twice, where we've had James be kicked out, and we've had trouble. We really need to actually speak to the South African. I mean, if they're going to censor our internet, the least they can do is provide us with good internet, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Annika's point here is, I still love this one. Talking about finding Osama bin Laden in a cave. They can live stream a beheading perfectly from some random cave, yet Duncan freezes mid-sentence in sunny SA. And
it's just...
Well, I think I'm wondering whether the actual fact is that he broke the internet because we could finally see what he looked like. Yeah.
That's possible too. That is possible. I mean, just keep the guesses rolling in. I mean, what you could be watching is the unraveling of an actual government conspiracy going on here, and they have chosen a low down, not particularly popular random live stream to test out their nefarious ways are. James,
by the way, I
that
take it offensively that you said not particularly popularly. All right, we are the bee's knees. Okay,
we number in the hundreds,
ahead of our time is all right.
I just want to say to James, by the way, that I know that he's taking pride in the fact that he's not the only one who brings gremlins onto the show, but nothing can excuse accidentally ending the broadcast halfway through.
Third of the way through.
At least when Duncan leaves, the broadcast is still going, you know?
I think he's back now. So, welcome back, Duncan.
Are you ready?
Is it working?
I'm just gonna stream off my phone. There's no point in trying to
Oh dear.
Oh, I think we've lost him on his phone even.
Look, at the moment.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can now. Sort of.
Okay, but how delayed was that? I'm gonna have to try and Benoni's got very bad internet signal, so I'm gonna have to put my phone against the window at the top.
While Duncan goes and sets up his hotspot, I think that we should run the clip to get ready for Conspiracy Theory Thursdays.
I think that sounds like an interesting, excellent idea.
Now let me take you to the...
Hi. Can you guys hear me? I'm going to need some confirmation that I'm here.
Yes, we can. You are here.
This has been a wild ride this evening. So give me a second. It's my first ever time. I'm actually on a Thursday, and it's my first time doing a Conspiracy Theory Thursday after being doxxed by one of you people watching the show. Thanks so much. It's great. A DDoS attack. Give me a second so I can just join the fun. It might not be a tinfoil hat, but I believe it's like a tinfoil yarmulke.
Beret. Come on, that's fully a beret.
That is completely acceptable.
Yeah. Okay, well,
there we go. That's the conspiracy theorist right there.
Look, I feel like a cone head. Right.
Then you've got the part right.
Thank you. Okay, Conspiracy Theory Thursday. The conspiracy theory we're going to chat about tonight is the Wayfair conspiracy theory. Have you guys ever heard about this? Has it not been sort of in and about your comment sections on Facebook or any shares lately? Because it's quite a new one.
No, yeah, I haven't heard of this at all. I am super excited.
The Wayfair conspiracy is something that's been cropping up on the internet over the past couple months, and it's one that it interests me a lot because it's so weird, and it's also like it proves the internet hive mind, and sort of like as soon as like one thing leads to another, everyone sort of agrees with everyone, and they're like, oh my god, this is the damn truth. So first of all, if we can go to the next slide, the question is, what is Wayfair? Wayfair is a company that sells furniture online in the USA. So basically, like if you think of like Corey Craft Online, all of those companies, somebody had a big gasp. I'm assuming now you knew what's going on here.
No, I was just like, they sell furniture online. They must be from Satan.
Yeah. So that's it. So yeah. So basically, what Grant's personal hell is getting left in an IKEA store. He hates it. So that's the thing is. So this whole conspiracy theory is born out of this idea that there's this company called Wayfair, and they sell furniture online. You can go buy a couch there. You can go buy cupboards. You can go and buy anything you want. However, people started picking up this weird sort of trend happening. Next slide. So now is where we get into the conspiracy. That's Alex Jones. He's also going on. Next slide. So if you can see this slide in front of you, you can see that these are cabinets, right? Now, in what universe would a cabinet cost $12,899 or $12,699? Think about that. I mean, it's a normal file cabinet. I mean, I don't think in South African rand you'd pay more than like a couple thousand, maybe 4,000 for a really good one
At
with
the
a lock
most.
that works.
Yeah.
So people saw this and they were like, how is this humanly possible that this company online has these cabinets? And here's where we get to the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is that Wayfair, the company, is directly involved in human trafficking. That inside these cabinets that are so expensive are kids, people, or whatever the case is that they use for human trafficking. Because why else?
Because kids are not people.
Because kids are okay, a bit rough. But that's what this boils down to, is that Wayfair is having these expensive ass cabinets, and when you order one and it's delivered to you, boom dia, you got yourself a child that's been stolen from somewhere. I see.
I mean,
Okay,
I
look,
assume
sorry, I'm putting that up.
nobody.
Annika, no, this isn't a Schrodinger's child situation or Schrodinger's cat situation. So if you go to the next slide, so this is where the one is pointed out. So these missing people, the names of these cabinets and everything are quite specific. A Samir, I mean that's quite a. And then people found that every single one of those cabinets that I showed you earlier have related missing people stories.
Whoa. That's
I'm just checking to make sure that my hat's on correctly, because that is a bit freaky.
So then what happened was, okay, to the story over here, this Samir girl actually has been found. So she's back at home and she's like going whatever the case is. But that
She
then
was in a plastic cabinet.
Well, no, she wasn't. She was just like her story is that she said, no, it is what it is. I ran away from home. That's all that happened. I ran away from home, and that's her story. The internet, hive mind, obviously wouldn't want to believe the story. They're like, bullshit. She escaped. Wayfair's paying her off to like keep her quiet about the situation. Not good enough. So then people are like, you know what? Maybe there is this. Maybe this whole thing about like human trafficking is absolute bullshit. And you'd think that because it seems a bit far fetched. Next slide. We have a news story about a guy over there. You can see the headline is human trafficking, narcotics, and ring busts. That gets a local man. This 28-year-old guy. I'd like to just point towards what shirt this man is wearing. So the Wayfair conspiracy theory basically is based on the company is currently involved in human trafficking. I'm just saying all the lines are being drawn towards this company and their bullshittery of stealing children.
Is it just children? Is it, I mean...
Well, it's human trafficking. The mainly for the most part, like I guess some people, like an 18-year-old that's been missing wouldn't be considered a child as such. You know, to be a teenager, or it's that's what people are all saying is Wayfair, this company, is busy trafficking kids and whatever. However, it does get one step deeper, and I forgot to actually put this into the slideshow. So I'll just do the old screen share again and dox myself as is tradition on this damn show. There's one other, yeah.
So while you're sorting that out, I just want to point out that Annika wants that Italian Oma inside that cooks her every night, like that Fatties and Monies
from
ad.
Fatties and Monies advert.
That was a great ad, by the way. But it does look in poor taste now when you're talking about human trafficking, though. Like, it starts to be a lot less.
Imitates life, Matt.
It starts to be a lot less, like, endearing.
So what I just want to quickly also point out is there's something else that pushed us over the edge, because I don't know whether you know that Tom Hanks is involved in a lot of like weird conspiracies, like because everyone always goes on about the fact that he's too nice. Like
He's
Tom
the one who
Hanks,
brought coronavirus to America as well, Morse.
like that's all of these kind of stories. So the guy's a nice guy. So Tom Hanks, you know, he goes and says to himself, like he goes out there and he does his thing, and he's involved in this whole conspiracy as well. Because what happens is, and as is tradition on the internet, people just go and like way overdo things. I'd like to show you this picture over here, right? If you can see that.
Well, it's busy loading.
sure we will.
In a bit. There we go.
Okay.
Right.
So
There you
this
go.
picture over here. So Tom Hanks put this on Instagram. It says SRC USA. And as you can tell, it's a pretty weird photo. A glove. You know, what the hell does this photo even mean? Is the real
Student
question.
Representative Council, United States of America. He's
Well, you
supporting
think that no. But
university
what happened
government
was
bodies.
that people obviously on the internet went and they started plugging those things into a Russian search engine. And when you went and put it into a Russian search engine, random photos of like children and missing children came up. So like the internet is saying that like with Wayfair, Tom Hanks is involved in this. And like these codes that he's like putting in, like, and in his Instagram pictures, he's got codes trying to show us that that he's involved in this. To be fair, though, SRC apparently is like a universal term for structural work underground. Like apparently that's what it means in real life. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, the next time you buy yourself a filing cabinet for 12,000 Rand and a 17-year-old missing person comes, thank God you found me.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
tell
return
them
them
to
to
tell
their
you
parents.
I mean,
so.
it is. Have you come across any other viable reason for why a filing cabinet would cost the price of a small car?
Well, if you can go back to the pictures.
I just want to point out $12,000, right? That's a pretty decent car. I mean, that's like 200 grand. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, yeah. So a fairly decent car, actually.
So here's the thing. There is a reason apparently. So you can put that picture of the cabinets up if you want. They say there is a reason that they do this. That what they do is they put these things up as like placeholders to keep the internet site. So like they might not be in stock at the moment. So what they do is they like overprice everything to keep the card open online. So the thing still is going to be in stock, but at the moment it's not in stock, if that makes any sense. So it's like an internet placeholder.
And yet it's discounted from 16,000 or discounted from 15,000.
So to answer that, what it also comes around to essentially is that it's just the algorithm of they sit there and they put in like $20,000 and then that's giving you the discounted price because it's already in the algorithm of the website as a minus 10% or whatever the case is. So that's their theory. But it's one of these things where like if you go and do a bit of reading about it, like people from Wayfair have like been arrested, like CEOs have stepped down of like regional places. Like it's all like super, super weird.
It's all fairly...
When I look at these cabinets though, it's like they are completely out of proportion. Like maybe that's not a camera trick. Maybe they cost so much because they're like these highly artistic cabinets that look wonky, like they come out of a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, but there's more things going to it. That they say that the stuff that they like that they're talking about, right, is they're like things are way overly specific. Like everything is like way overly specific on their website, like the names of stuff, and it obviously the internet does its whole like weird, wonderful thing. But yeah, it's strange. I mean, what they did, like, so there is a story that comes at the end of it. An Arizona couple, obviously to get the internet clicks, they went and bought one to like of these expensive things to see if there was going to be a person inside it, and there wasn't. So like, I don't know if they're like if it's only certain. No, well, to be fair though, because you never know with all these like sort of things where people are doing illicit things, it obviously be like ways in which they do stuff. So like when I buy it and I pay 12,000 Rand for a cabinet and I buy it without using a certain purchase code, you know, then it won't be
that's the trafficking delivery instruction. You know?
Yeah,
correct.
Put it inside.
Yeah, Don't forget child in cabinet. Don't forget old person in cabinet. Whatever the case is. But like,
And
so
extra
like obviously
onions.
when you like, so that's what they're saying is like, yeah, they did it, but now in the checkout when you go check out, and then it's like, give us a coupon code. So like if you put in coupon code, let's just for a thing say the coupon code is hammer. And if you put in the keyword, then they know that you're purchasing this thing and you're part of like the group of people that know the code word. So people have like tried to debunk it, and other people are going, no, this is like, what about this? What about this? It's just one of these interesting ones where I'd love to actually find out if there is any smoke to this fire. I just think it's a really rad conspiracy that's pretty up to date.
Yeah,
I mean,
To throw back to one of our previous episodes, put in Chonk 15 and you might get some seal plushies inside. Who knows? But no, this also makes me think of back from...
or you might get a internet television host from Benoni who is very cuddly inside. He just doesn't know it yet. Just saying. All right?
Yeah. But this also makes me think of back to the days of BlackBerry. I remember one day I was in the like the little game store in BlackBerry, and I was like looking at what games I could download, and I found this one specific one where it was 50,000 rand to get this sparkly rotating diamond on your screen, and if you bought this, you could chat to anyone else who had bought this sparkly diamond around the world. And I think it's also maybe just catering to the super rich who have more money than sense. It's like if you put something up and you put an exorbitant price on it, you're going to get somebody who's like, oh, I have 30,000 rand in my back pocket. I'll
with
buy
the Wayfair
this for a
thing,
laugh.
the Wayfair thing was the problem with the Wayfair one is that there's specific people's names in their cupboards. Like, I mean, the names they used. Has anyone checked if that's not doctored pics? Yeah, I got that. Like, they were literally taken off the websites. That's literally like off the actual. They're not doctored at all. They are 100% off the actual website.
Annika says it could be drugs and not people. I mean, that's also
drugs. But like again, they did this whole they did this whole like thing about it with what I was gonna say where they. I've completely lost my train of thought because I was busy googling that. The problem is the people's names, and that's why. So having a missing person. So having a missing person and having a Doug's obviously going to go and order one right now. Having a missing person, so having people's names that were missing and these exorbitant prices. But again, it's one of those situations where you have to think, like, going, is there enough of? Is there there's so many names in the world, and obviously, like if you type in Jeff, there's going to be a missing Jeff somewhere in the world. You know, there's 7, and that's where I don't 100% buy into the conspiracy. But like, I think it's a very interesting one that's so multi-layered that the internet has done so much work in trying to like bring these people to task about.
But it's like I mean that's what we were talking about last week with the fact that, like, you know, for a conspiracy theory to really take root, it doesn't need to be true. It just needs to be plausible. You know, it just needs to be vaguely plausible, and it'll take root. And this is all of those trademarks to be plausible. You know.
But I mean, just because it's a conspiracy theory does not mean that it doesn't have elements of truth. I mean, you were talking about, you know, having the code words, and it reminds me of this film Spotlight. Do you ever see that? Mark Ruffalo, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
it's based on true story, right? Okay, and it documents. I think it's the Boston Globe's investigation department with Spotlights, right? And they decide to investigate the Catholic Church, right? Because they've got information that's come to light about the sexual exploitation that happens in the Catholic Church towards children, right? So they start investigating, and they're thinking, you know, okay, we will find, you know, 1 or 2, it'll be fine, right? No, turns out they end up, you know, having something as high as like 17% or something. I mean, I can't remember the exact number, but it's like 17% of all priests, right? Okay. And their code word, and they're trying to find out where do these priests go, because they don't end up in jail, right? Whenever there's a complaint, they just leave the parish and then show up somewhere else, right?
Yep.
Generally after a 12-month period, right? So but with the Catholic Church, you get the archdiocese, and you can look at where all the priests are. You know, it's like a phone book of where the priests are, right? and they've got a code word there called unassigned, right? Okay. And all of these priests are just unassigned, and they're sent to these houses where they are basically a bunch of pedophile priests kept in a house for a year until the furor dies down and they can send them somewhere else. And that was their code word, unassigned. And that was the code word they followed to find them. Right? And it was quite fascinating. And I mean, they then went on, and the investigation that they were doing was happening in the beginnings of the end of 2001. Unfortunately, of course, what happened in 2001? 9/11. So it pushed their big expose back a few months until the beginning of 2002. But following the 2002 reveal of their story, which I mean resulted in hundreds of articles, right? They went and they investigated, other places went and investigated, and they've got a list of cities where they found similar problems as a result of the Catholic Church. And I mean, it's dozens of cities at the end of this movie that they just list in alphabetical order, right? And it's all from one code word, unassigned. I mean, so, you know, you say, you know, what is the code word? Hammer, big chunk, whatever it is. I think that, you know, sorry to jump in, but I think that, you know, just because we can't prove something right now, I think that there are certainly situations that need to be taken account. I mean, just today there was a woman in Lexington, Kentucky, who leapt out of a moving vehicle, and the vehicle sped off. She was taped up, right? This is in the United States, Lexington, Kentucky, and she has come out saying that she was kidnapped and was being transported in a human trafficking, sex trafficking situation, and she had to escape. This is in Lexington, Kentucky, United States today. So I mean,
hang on a second. Sorry, I just need to sort something out.
Jeez,
Everyone's
everyone's
having
having
a
a
thing
camera
today.
today.
Keep it down. Keep it down.
Anyway, as we were saying,
Sorry, that was awkward. Sorry.
So the other thing about this, and we're talking about human trafficking in general. The one thing is, obviously, I worked in Bloemfontein for a long time, and I found out something quite interesting. That apparently, like, Bloemfontein in South Africa is like the hub of human trafficking.
Well, that would kind of make sense to me, though, because it's the center of the country, so you can kind of just go off from there.
So a lot of people say that, like, this Bloemfontein place, especially like for drugs, and it's also one of those things where it's quite easy for you to not, if you, for an example, are trying to get something to a dock that you don't have to take a national highway, like the N1, N2, N3 or whatever. They say Bloem's the way to go, because if you drive out of like the Durban Harbour, so okay, I'm going to do it this way. So if you drive out of Durban Harbour, you know, you're going to drive to Joburg, and it's going to be, you know, highways and something could happen, you know, lots of police activity or whatever. Whereas if you drive a little bit up there, you go across, you go the top of Lesotho, and you go to Bloem, like that's like a hub where you could literally, and then you can take all these small roads to get down to Cape Town, to get to Joburg. It's not like you have to take any national highways. And that's why they say, like, when I heard that, I was like, pull the other one, mate. And the person was like, no, seriously, like that's like, they were talking about like how many stories in Bloem you hear about, like they go and like break down a house in like some area in Bloem, and there's like 5 people there that are there against their own will, and like 2 of them are from Cape Town, one's from here, and you're like, how the fuck is this real? What? And he's like, think about how many times you hear those stories in Bloem versus anywhere else in the country. It's like it's because you don't like, and that's huge news. Like if you find a house, it's like it just happens so often in Bloem. And I was like, holy shit, this makes sense when the person actually explained it in general about like how much shit goes on there. And it is interesting. Like, I love that place, but I think look, it's like any city in the country has got a dark underbelly. But we're hearing about human trafficking stuff happening in a town or city as small as Bloem. I was blown away.
I just want to point out that I have not kept my feelings about the Free State or Bloemfontein particularly secret on this show. And I'm just marking down another reason why I don't.
Bloemfontein, where you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
Haha, I've never heard that one before. But like, I'm comparing, but Doug, isn't your family from Vale van der Bijl?
They grew up here in Joburg, right? My parents decided to retire to Vereniging, okay?
Okay, well, Vale van der Bijl and Vereniging. Oh, sorry. It's like a 3-iron away. You hit a 3-iron down like the R27 or whatever it is. It's the same place. It's in
Yeah.
it's there.
It's like Woodbank's the satellite campus to Benoni. You know,
okay, settle down
much
for a
the same
second.
thing.
No, all I'm saying is, like, I'm going to stop having to talk about all the shit about Bloem. There is some wonderful things. They have Maple Hill. They've got a beautiful statue of Mandela. Beautiful.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
on top of a
Every
hill.
city has a beautiful statue of Mandela. Like,
The one in Bloemfontein's nice, okay? It's nice.
He's nice.
It's a good- It's on top of a. It's on top of a.
coming out of Bloemfontein. I've heard that The Hunt for the Red October was just released there in cinemas.
And finally, you know, just top of the charts at the moment. Looking forward to Greece coming out this December. Take your whole family to go watch Greece at the drive-through this December.
aren't they about to legalize interracial marriages there? Or is that
You
still
guys, we've gone.
Has McDonald's
We've
open
won-
yet?
Just to point out, my mother wanted to correct me. Just to point out, Midval. Right.
Midval?
Midval. All right. So
Is what?
Okay. That's like
I know
saying
that your
don't
mom-
live
now
in
I know your
Bank, I live
mom's
in
watching.
Middleburg.
Now that I know your mom's watching, I can't shit talk anymore. Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean it. Sozbomb. But when you log off here, listen, ma'am, Mrs. White, just send a message when you're about to log off because I'm gonna just shit talk that place again. I'll be nice. You know why? Because I was raised in a good home in Benoni, a good home. I have respect.
There's no
When
such
other
thing as a
people-
good home in Benoni.
Okay, listen, I'll have you know something. Although most of them are broken, there's been some good things. Like there's been some good, solid things come out there. Look at Grant. Look at him. He's actually a bad example.
Yeah, no.
Look at, sorry, I know. Look, hey,
look, blame
whatever.
Bitpunk for that one. All right.
Yeah, look, and you know what the thing is? We're still wearing the conspiracy theory hat. So all your bullshit about Benoni is a conspiracy theory. Take the hat off, then it means something.
Speaking of taking the hat off, perhaps it's time to go back to the studio.
Yeah.
Now let me take you to the.
Is your mom gone yet? Because I got a good one for you. Bruh, the only thing good coming out of Midval is the N1 back to Joburg. What up? Take that, Mrs. White, now that you're not watching anymore.
I will say, you know, the one thing is that at least when you're driving through Midval, the N1 through Midval, there are no potholes because it is DA controlled, and if they can do one thing right, it's fix the roads. And
If not, tell Helen Zillowin to relax herself every now and again. They can't do that right either.
Oh, no,
They can't-
they can't.
the DA.
Okay, listen. Okay, right. Okay, you don't tell.
You know what you do? You're being a bloody DA apologist.
You're
You're one of those people.
What to do, okay, you do not tell Mark
listen.
what to do. Right?
You're being an apologist. What you're essentially doing is you like this. You're like going, yeah, okay, Afrikaans people, like, we're really sorry about apartheid, but Omar Rusks, they're pretty cool. Biltong. Like, you're being an apologist. Like, you're going, you can't sit here and go like, okay, the DA don't have potholes. At the same time, they don't exactly have much more. You're being an apologist.
I must say, you're absolutely right. But I do
Just
like
want to say
Omar
something.
Rusks.
I think I just, you where's my hat? Where's my hat? No, bro. It's you know what the great thing is, it's always awesome that we can sit and have bants about South Africa. I think that's at the end of the day something that all South Africans can at least handle is a bit of bants.
Yeah,
And if your mom is still watching, sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean it. If your mom is watching, sorry, ma'am.
No, I will totally and wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that the one strength of South Africans above all else is our ability to laugh at ourselves a little bit, and we do seem to do that particularly well.
And
the
also
day
find
that we
loopholes.
lose- Yeah, that too.
South African finding loopholes. Like this, if this lockdown has taught me anything, is that like I mean, all South Africans are almost like grade 1 lawyer because everyone's like look. All I'm gonna say is I know some people that are obviously in the liquor trade, right? That are doing illegal booze. I know some people. So what these people have told, it's interesting when you have these conversations. Like a guy goes, they're like, listen, if you do by any chance have booze in your car, just a maybe, and a police officer stops you, he has no right to search your vehicle at all, ever. He's not allowed to search your car. The only time is if they have a demarcated one with like a 200-meter zone for you. Then they can. If a police officer pulls you over, there is not a shit that they can stop you. And if you're driving to like the parkie because you want to go and have a 6-pack of beers in the parkie because parks are open now, just do it, man. They're not what they're gonna do. They're gonna turn you into a criminal for having a 6-pack of Hunter's Dry. Fuck off.
I mean, I've got to say the moment that you really realize like how normal sort of exploiting the loopholes is for South Africans is when you have to deal with like an international company that's shipping you stuff, because they have to create like a formal commercial invoice and put the correct shipping codes on it and everything. The problem with that is if you bring it in here and it's got a certain shipping code, it attracts like duties like you can't believe. So you'll be on the phone to the international company being like, yeah, but can you just put it under a different code? Like, what are you talking about? No, just look, we talk to our shipping guys. It's fine.
Listen.
Just put it under a different code.
It's the same. It's the same as like with references, bro. Like bank references. Bro, people sit there like. My favorite is because look, I'm not gonna say that I haven't bought liquor legally or illegally. I'm not gonna say that, and I'm not gonna say that I've bought anything because I'm not gonna criminate myself. But for an example, I've heard people saying they're like, okay, so I'm gonna pay 600, 900 rand for something. Then I'm like, oh, I have to EFT. How much I EFT? And they're like, just put it through as like PlayStation games. What they're gonna do? They're gonna come to my house and look for PlayStation games that I fucking sold. No, they're not. Are they gonna go to Grant's bank accounts and be like, Grant, where those PlayStation games that Duncan bought from you? Where are they?
No. In his house.
I lent them to a chom. Nah, it's funny. We're excellent. We're excellent at this loophole thing.
Yeah, we really are.
Just be like 12-inch Monster X dildo. I mean, no one's gonna look for that. No one's gonna be like, "Can I see that, please?" No.
That's what they will go looking for. All right.
Yes.
That's the item that they'll go looking for. All right.
I have a random quick story before we end this. That's talking about references and banks and why you got to keep a friend of mine. And now this is a legitimate story. This is like a year ago. I sold him a bunch of audio equipment because I was getting rid of it. It was excess audio equipment, and it came up to like 1,200 rand. So I didn't think. The absolute, I'm going to use the absolute dickhead decides to go like this in the reference. Instead of going like Duncan audio equipment or audio equipment, writes there, plain and simply, capital letters, cocaine. I'm like, are you actually like, are you brain damaged? Like, I'm like, can you just imagine like whoever at Standard Bank is having to do whatever, like invoicing or whatever the case is, have this fat thing, cocaine. And I'm like, my guy, look, I'm not sure if you were born like on a short weekend or something because you're fucking short of brain. I mean, like, why would you like? Because the thing is, like, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, because obviously they're gonna go to the source first because he paid me. Then I'm like, no. Then they must interrogate him. And what if he actually was? Then I would have felt bad that my junkie friend. I don't know if he was a junkie. But like, why? Don't make a fire and smoke. There was no smoke. There was no fire. I was selling him a headphone, and now they're gonna go. Okay, we want to see those headphones and break them open. Where's the cocaine that was referenced in your Standard Bank account? I don't know. Yes, yeah. You don't learn anything on the show. Learn this. Don't reference like a tit when you're paying people shit.
There was a Cape Town journalist who felt that way about those sign-in sheets, how ridiculous they were, and he had a source that he would go and speak to, and so he would get to this company where they would make him sign in each time. So he would sign in and he would put in his name as Mickey Mouse and the reason for visit, sex and drugs, and they never stopped him. So he wrote an article about it, right, naming the building that he was doing this at. His source then phoned him and crapped him out because while yes he was putting in a fake reason, a fake name, he wasn't putting in a fake person who he was visiting. So the building checked out who Mickey Mouse for sex and drugs was visiting, Right? Okay, and called him up and crapped him out for it.
Having the furries visiting your office again during working hours.
But like, why? All you stop incriminating people that are good people. I'm a good civilian. Don't sit there and reference cocaine, Mickey Mouse, furry sex in a standard bank EFT.
I mean,
Are you fuck off, man.
calling yourself a good civilian might be a bit of a stretch, though.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I was
listen,
laughing.
Hey, listen, I haven't stolen one food parcel. I haven't stolen one food parcel that was supposed to go to the poor people. I pay my tax. I actually pay the people that are stealing my money. I'm a good person. I'm charitable.
This is true.
Talking about charity. Moving on.
Yeah, we have an example of a chicken arguing about foxes. Anyway, to go to our charity, which are the People for Purpose. These are the people that duck that at least you got us support.
Hey.
Okay. And what they do is they provide funding in the form of vouchers, in the pick and pay vouchers or ShopRite vouchers to crew, backstage crew, who work in the theater and performance industry, in the events industry, because these people work on a contract basis and do not qualify for UIF and are not getting 2,200 Rand from the government for creatives. And so they need your help. So please, if you can help, get in touch with the People for Purpose at help@feedourcrew.co today, or else donate directly to the People for Purpose and you using the reference Feed Our Crew on their First National Bank account, People for Purpose. That's people with the digit 4, People for Purpose, at the account number 627-894-00571, and help out as best you can if you can. I mean, anything you
And
got.
Don't reference cocaine. Be like charity, doing good. Don't reference Mickey Mouse sex drugs.
Reference Feed Our Crew. That's what it says. Reference Feed Our Crew.
That's what look, no, listen, hear me out for a second. If you put the money in there, if you put it in because it's a charitable account, people know it's for charity. But don't be a ding-dong and say cocaine, because then you're just being a ding-dong. Stop that.
So there you go.
From today on, if you haven't learned anything, stop referencing like a tit.
There you go. Don't reference
Thank
like
you.
a tit. That is our message to you for this long weekend. Have a lovely one.
Is it a long weekend?
It is a long
It is.
weekend. It is Women's Day on Monday.
No, Women's Day on Sunday, but the
So carries across to Monday.
public holiday carries
It's not
over
like
to
we can
Monday.
go to our jobs anyway, is it? It's been a public holiday since March 26th for some of us. That are unemployed.
And every freelancer goes, now you know what we feel like.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for Dark and COVID. I hope that you lit SA Red yesterday and had a wonderful time watching us this evening. We will see you on Monday.
Indeed, we
Yes,
shall.
indeed.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Stay
Bye.
safe, stay sexy.